Massage therapist, or masseuse, have you ever had a session turned sexual with a client? How did it go down? Not my story, but a co-worker's. He was giving a massage to a client and things were getting flirty. She was an attractive woman and he pushed it. Well, I guess he sucked at reading clues because she was married and was being friendly. She filed a complaint on him and he ended up losing his license. How did he push it? Asked her, or tried to escalate by being a bit more intimate with his massage. I don't recall exactly, just that he tried to escalate by being a bit more intimate with his massage. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Misread her sign and you're essentially sexually assaulting her. He's lucky he only lost his job, could have been criminally charged as well. Happened to a former friend of mine. Misread some signs or created imaginary signs in his mind. Tried to escalate the massage by massaging a more intimate area. She shut it down and called the cops. He ended up being convicted of some degree of sexual assault for the attempted or actual digital penetration. Sentenced to a year in a workhouse and pretty much lost everything in his life. This right here is why the answer to this question is 110 always. Doesn't matter if they're pushing it. I'm at work and I'm a professional. I'm not gonna randomly finger a client. My mom and dad ran their own massage therapy business. My mom always said if a guy started giving any kind of signals that she would just start asking him about his mother. She said it never failed her. Edit. Thank you strangers for my first ever silver. I went from silver virgin to silver threesome in a flash. Boy, is she gonna be surprised one day when some guy with an Oedipus complex shows up for a massage. My mother, well, you look a lot like her. Well, he imagines she does. Hard to tell with his eyes gouged out. Oddly enough, Oedipus didn't actually want to sleep with his mother. He found it was his mother later and gouged his eyes out. I'm a physiotherapist, but I have extensive training in deep tissue massage and dry needling. Pretty much every time I treat my girlfriend it ends with sex. Probably the closest thing to an answer you're gonna get. You're probably not gonna hear any stories about people with licenses doing anything sexual with someone, as if it ever got out they would immediately lose their billing number. But I will say, I've worked in a gym before where the RMT was sleeping with a few of his patients in and outside of the gym. What is dry needling? I think it's when a guy with a really thin penis tries to have sex with a woman, but she isn't turned on at all. Oh, I have a story as a client. I used to live in a great city located in Southern California. Across the street where I lived was a massage parlor ran out of an old historic home. I used to frequent as much as I could afford and things were great, or so I thought. I had never been to a masseuse before then and thought big tubs, showers and champagne was normal since it was the only point of reference I had. After each session I had, the ladies frequently asked me if I needed anything else or wanted to extend. Being very budget conscious, I'd say no thank you. It was great though. I'd get dressed and go home. On my last occasion though, things just felt off. She had me flip from my stomach and massaged my quads and let her fingers drift a little and would ask me if I wanted anything more. I'd sheepishly reply no. This is great. Thank you. As we finished, she asked me one more time if I'd like anything else, but I declined. A few weeks later, I'm walking home from work and the police are all over my street. As many of you have already guessed, they were busting the place for being a known brothel. I tiptoed back home and waited for them to come to my house and bust me. But thankfully that never happened. Meanwhile, all of your neighbors saw you frequent the joint and have labeled you the town perv. Oh my God. This explains so much. I had a client start flirting with me while on my table. I reminded her that the session is purely medical and I'd like to keep the conversation about her and what she's dealing with. She stroked my leg once in a sexual manner and I threatened to end the session there if she tried something like that again after that. The rest of her session was smooth. I take stuff like that pretty seriously. I'm not setting our profession back 30 years because some people think someone touching them means anything sexual. This was after a few years of no sexual anything with anyone, but regardless, I'm not throwing away years of hard work and risking a lawsuit over someone feeling frisky. Finally, a believable answer. I'm a family physician, and I've had female patients hit on me before. It's not as flattering as one might imagine. In fact, it puts me very much on edge. Lady, you don't know me, and you're not in love with me, you know, and are smitten with the professional role I play. So the chance that your flirting is a trap to get something from me, or at the very least is misguided, is quite high. Fucking a patient is the quickest way to lose your medical license. If you think I'd put my hard-won career and my marriage on the line for a bit of fun, I must look a lot dumber than I am. Former esthetician here. Not a masseuse, but I performed waxing on all parts of the body, so I certainly have a story or two. So, there's the Brazilian wax, which is everything gone from your downstairs, front and back. Salons are the male version, they cheekily like to call main zillions. I've had a number of these, and without fail, when it comes time to take the towel away and start, there's at least a semi-chop going on. I'd explain that this happens with everyone, as penis isn't very self-aware, they just know they're out, there's a lady, and they're just happy to be there. I'd then place my first strip of wax, let it set, then re-eye-it, and it would be like letting the air out of a balloon. Strangely, I never got any phone numbers. Oh, and to do your butthole you have to be on all fours. Big missed opportunity to call it a Brazilian. In the game, vital if it actually is called the Brazilian package, and it says you get your back, sack, and crack waxed. My stepdad is a professional massage therapist. Asking him for stuff like that is answered with a no, and continuing means you're no longer a client. Stepdad, huh? I think that they had to find a new massage therapist. Edit, thank you for the gold. As much as it is appreciated, just do a kind deed for a stranger instead and save your money. Maybe give someone a massage when they are asleep on the bus. Must be nice to wake up that. My mom is a massage therapist. She has worked at several chiropractic offices. Oftentimes, if you're good enough and trustworthy enough, the chiropractors will give you the keys so you can see clients on the weekends. I once had to take an Uber to her work when she was scheduled to massage this one guy. He was married and new to the US. He had been sending messages to my mom, which made her question his intent, but chalked it up to him not speaking a lot of English. I get a call from her, telling me to Uber to her place of work as soon as possible. Apparently the guy had sent a message with this code phrase that in the massage world means things are going to become sexual. So I'm the first to arrive. My mom gets there and tries to downplay the situation to make herself feel better by saying things like, well, maybe he just didn't know what that meant. I could be drawing a conclusion that isn't true. He has a wife after all. Man comes in with candy and flowers. He sees me sitting in the chair, really confused. Hands them to my mom. She massages him. He pays her, gives me a sideways glance, and leaves. Son joins mother to give stress-relieving massage to foreign guy. MP4, this is the best one. He put down the flowers, his coat and his case. He looked at her son, with a frown on his face. It's not what I wanted, it's not why I came. But fuck it, he shrugged, and he whispered, I'm game. I have different side of story. I was about 15 years old when that happened, and it still gives me creeps. After a car accident, I was assigned a massage therapist to massage my shoulder since it was injured. Nothing else, just my hand and shoulder. So, I come to this session, and I see this really young guy waiting for me. I asked him, can I keep my clothes? And he said that I should be in my underwear. Already felt weird, but whatever, I carried on. So, I lay on the table, and he massages me, when suddenly he starts massaging my back. then lower back. I already felt super uncomfortable at this point. And then, he pulls a bit of my underwear. And think of fact that his hands were really oily. He slipped his hands right in between my ass. Oh my god. It was almost the end of the session, and it did not last long, but I was so shocked that I freezed. I dressed up, and I went to the reception to cancel any sessions with him. I did not report the ass accident. All the receptionist said, "What went wrong?" The old ladies love this guy. You will make one happy by giving your space. Edit. Thank you for all the support. Yes, I did not report it, nor I told anyone. I kept on lying to my parents that I am still going there. It took me around 2 hours to even go to the reception and say that I will not continue. Also, this happened years ago in small city of one of the European countries. Nobody would have believed me anyway. They would have said, no bruises, no blood, the kid is imagining everything. She just wants to ruin a life of young massage therapist. I am not sure, but can suspect that he did this for other of his clients, since the receptionist also mentioned that he is not popular among young people. Old ladies love ass accidents. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more upcoming videos. Have an amazing day.